r/AskReddit. What incredibly fake myths people still largely believe in. That Einstein failed math? Nope. He was an extremely gifted student who mastered integral and differential calculus by age 14. The myth possibly comes from the fact that he scored a 6 in physics in the Swiss graduation exam, which is the highest score, while in Germany, 1 is the highest and 6 is the lowest. Same with Bill Gates dropping out of Harvard. He didn't flunk out. He was making so much money / saw the potential to make money with his project he decided to focus on it full time. He also had an agreement with Harvard that he could return if it didn't take off. Unis generally don't like to see money walk away. That if you find a baby bird and put it back in the nest, the parents won't care for it. In 5th grade, my friends and I found a baby bird on the ground, and I thought that, although the nest myth was untrue, it was probably learning how to fly, and we shouldn't disrupt that. They put it back in the nest anyway, and right before recess ended, this girl had an absolute meltdown about it. I tried to share my knowledge, and she kicked me in the balls. Sometimes babies leave the nest too early. They could fall while practicing flapping, or just because the nest is too crowded. They could get spooked and try to escape something before they can fly. Either way, putting it back isn't going to hurt it any more than leaving it on the ground. Better safe than sorry. Tornadoes can't cross rivers. Tornadoes can't happen in the mountains. Tons of tornado myths. They are all false. Tornado don't care. Your town hasn't been hit in a while, because even though the US has more tornadoes than anywhere else on the planet, the statistical chances of something that is on average a couple 100 yards wide hitting you is pretty darn small. More okay being particularly unlucky in that regard. Lightning can strike the same place twice. Just ask the Empire State Building. Or really any tall object. Opening your windows for an approaching tornado will not save your house. It will make the destruction even faster, as the most common fail point is the roof, and that allows air in that can push up and destroy it faster. The pressure gradient is irrelevant. A bridge is one of the worst places to be in a tornado. Taking shelter in a ditch is better. A bridge speeds the winds up via a funneling effect. Source: a meteorologist. Edit: adding in cities, tornadoes hit cities. Being in one doesn't protect you. Also, being on tribal land doesn't protect you. Being in a valley doesn't protect you. Tornado don't care. Edit 2: the pressure differential will not bust your windows. The debris flying at hundreds of miles per hour will. And that will happen whether or not your windows are open or closed. By opening your windows, you are just inviting all of that into your home sooner, giving more time for the tornado to tear it apart. Well, yeah, a bridge is the most dangerous place to be. Tornadoes can't cross rivers, so they head straight for the bridges. Although you can hide under a toll bridge if there's a free one nearby, tornadoes are very frugal. That undercover cops are in any way obligated to tell you they are cops if you ask them directly. This used to be a big plot device in cop shows, including Miami Vice, where the undercover cop would have to try avoiding giving an answer. That one never made sense to me. If a cop can get away with breaking the law while undercover, then lying about being a cop is nothing. It's also not illegal for any cop to lie to you for any reason ever. Guy who took the Loch Ness photo admitted like 20 years ago that it was fake. They used an old toy. He told people to their faces and people still believe in it apparently. Not that it actually exists, but the myth was around before that picture. Yeah, but people still use that photo as evidence. My mom believes that going on roller coasters or excessive bouncing will cause my intestines to move around and get stuck inside each other. Also, that if I carry something heavy more than 10 pounds on my period, I'll become infertile. Please explain the last part. I get the whole roller coaster thing, but the last part one can't imagine. I mean, when trains were first popularized, women were discouraged to use it because the female body is not designed for such speeds, and it could cause the uterus to fall out. That Marilyn Manson got her rib removed so he could suck his own Nike. I swear every single elementary school in North America has heard that. This myth has been attributed to many people including Prince. I've met people in many different cities that have all heard the Marilyn rumor when they were in elementary as well. I find that super strange considering none of us even used the internet at that time. I always wondered how such a rumor spread like it did. That you only use 10% of your brain and you would unlock some superpowers or abilities using all of it. We use almost all of it every day. Did you know that you only use 1% of your keyboard? Since you're almost never pressing more than one key at once. Some experts can use 5 to 10% of their keyboards in the form of shortcuts and hotkeys. But imagine how productive we would be if we could use 100%. This comment has the perfect comparison. That cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. That you have to wait 24 hours before you can report someone missing. There is no such rule. Call the police as soon as possible. Especially if it's a child. Yeah, if you think someone is missing. 24 hours is plenty of time for every worst case scenario to occur. This myth works well as a deterrent for all the overprotective parents out there who are at the police station as soon as their 16-year-old is 30 minutes late home from school though. It's a massive waste of police time and resources. And if you cut or shave hair it comes back thicker. It only seems thicker at first because you're cutting it and creating a blunt end rather than the normally tapered end of a grown strand of hair. Plus, when hair is very short, it's stiffer / less flexible. That was just made to get teenagers to shave their itty patchy facial hair. And teenagers girls will be afraid of shaving their legs. Tell me the truth. I won't get mad. Exactly how you raise a liar. If the punishment is going to be the same regardless, there's no incentive not to try to lie your way out of it. Late to this. But this was one of the reasons, of many, I stopped trusting my mom. She and I always had a good relationship. As far as interactions with each other went. More friends than parent-child. Not exactly a situation I thought I would get into trouble for. But my city had a curfew for people under 17. Once, at 16. My best friend and I snuck out of his house late. Which wasn't even sneaking to us. We were just going for a walk. We went to my girlfriend's house like a block away and sat talking on her porch for a few hours. No drugs. No drinking. No ex. Just talking. Next day, my mom asked how my night went with my buddy and I told her. She exploded. And called my friend's mom. This is completely out of the blue. Now, his parents were cool. They didn't care. And I didn't even really get in trouble. But it was the fact she ratted my friend out that made me start saying things like fine or none of your business when she would ask about my plans. There are hot single women in your area. Hey, you're from anonymous proxy too? Come over. I'm horny. People still believe they eat spiders in their sleep. They used to say humans swallow 8 spiders a year at night. Turns out there was just some guy eating a bowl of spiders every night who skewed on numbers. Found a lovely candied spider in a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch once. Close saint I've been to eating a bowl of spiders. Vaccines cause autism, but they're full of mercury. Edit. Yes, this is a joke. That a European swallow could carry a coconut when migrating. What about an African swallow? African swallows are not migratory. Camels don't carry water in their humps. Their humps are made of fat which is primarily for use in the desert as an emergency food store if they can't find any and collected in one spot so that it minimizes the insulating effect a layer of fat would normally have. Instead, they have adapted to lose much less water on a daily basis as well as having a number of adaptations that allow them to withstand the effects of dehydration. Examples of this are their kidney and intestines which effectively recycle as much water as possible as well as oval red blood cells which allow for easy blood flow even when dehydrated. They also rarely sweat and can moderate their own body temperature to help with this. Their nostrils have even adapted in such a way as to trap the water vapor that would normally be lost by breathing. While I'm at it, they don't spit in the traditional sense either. It's more like cut that they spit up and sling in every direction to get people to back off. So basically vomit. It's not as precise as one would think. I had assumed that storing water in their hump was a known myth by now, but nevertheless, I find myself having to tell families at my zoo on an almost daily basis about both of these facts. But half of my job is teaching, so I'm glad to help dispel myths about the animals I work with. Actually, this is kinda funny, but metabolizing lipids releases water molecules. So in a sneaky biochemical sense, camels do store water in there, it's just locked into the stored fat. That's what my bio teacher taught us. It was fat, but that when they metabolized it, it created water and energy for the camel, in addition to the other things mentioned above. My yoga instructor recently informed the class we would be working on grounding techniques because the earth started spinning faster than it used to, which is causing a lot of stress for everyone. I don't think this even qualifies as a myth, just one person's incredible stupidity. Myths usually start because of one incredibly stupid person. That daddy long-legged spiders are extremely venomous, but they have really short fangs and can't bite you, so you're safe. So they can bite you, or they aren't venomous. Harvestmen don't have venom glands. Cellar spiders do, like all spiders carrot, excepting one or two species, which are unique in that regard.